Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today with another Raid Shadow Legends Champion Guide. Welcome to the video, guys. Hopefully it finds you all doing well. Today we have SICIA FLAMETONGUE, aka SICIA FLAMETONGUE. I've heard content creators pronounce the name both ways. I say SICIA. SICIA. We have Claudia looking for a SICIA FLAMETONGUE guide. She's an incredible champion. More Claudia Perez Ortiz. Oh my God, Claudia, is it all you all the time looking for SICIA FLAMETONGUE? No, we got TG Belmas looking for SICIA as well. We got Toby Simmerman looking for a SICIA. Abalaster looking for SICIA as well. Epic Gaming, shout out to all of you guys. Zen Jackson as well in the comments asking for all of these champions day after day. I get all my ideas from you guys. So without further ado, Caveman, what up, man? What up? Much love, dude. Let's go ahead and take a look at SICIA FLAMETONGUE. All right, guys, so SICIA FLAMETONGUE is, of course, a demon spawn champion, right? And man, no aesthetic in the game screams demon spawn like SICIA. I mean, she is literally on fire, right? She's literally on fire. Really love the aesthetic. I mean, look at that face. She's, yeah, she's burning. She's a hunka burning SICIA FLAMETONGUE. Hunka burning tongue. There we go. She has a triple hitter on her A1 and Towering Inferno. Hits 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance when booked of increasing the duration of a burn on the target by 1 turn. On the A2, Flame Eruption. Attacks all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. This is definitely a champion that you do want to book. As tough as they are to get, I would invest in SICIA. I think she is, you know, going to ruin the ending here. I think she's close to S-tier champion out there. Definitely A+. An AoE, 100% big version of Weaken for 2 turns on all enemies. Also has a 100% chance of placing a decreased defense as long as there's at least 2 enemies under HP burn. Then we instantly activate HP burn debuffs on each target and decrease the duration of those burns by 1 turn. This is her A2 ability. On her A3 ability, which is on a 4-turn when booked, we place said HP burn on this champion. What? Yeah, she places him on herself, but it's okay. I mean, she's already on fire. She plays an HP burn for 3 turns, then she attacks all enemies, so another AoE attack in her kit. 100% chance of placing a burn on all enemies for 3 turns, which is great because, again, this is on a 4-turn cooldown, so we get the 3-turn burn to accommodate that longer cooldown. And then we get an extra turn if the burn is placed on all enemies. So now an extra turn mechanic in our kit as well. On the passive, Metaphysics increases champion speed by 3, damage by 3 for each ally and enemy under an HP burn debuff. She's also a companion champion to Cardial. As if her kit couldn't get even better, it does. We have Cardial. If he's on the same team, all allies will also heal by 3% of their max HP from HP burn debuffs instead of receiving damage and losing HP. So it mitigates, it negates, and then it gives you more instead of getting the negative effects of burn. Man, she's got a lot going on. Her base stats, her HP is incredibly low. 13k, what the heck? I guess she is made of fire, I don't know. On the attack, 15 to 86, very high on the base attack, which is nice. She deals good damage on 2 AoE attacks, but really the most of her damage is coming from the burn and said instant activation of the burns. So that being said, I would not go out of my way to min-max the attack sky high on this champion before at least you account for her lack of HP, right? So we're going to be using, spoiler, the ring accessory as an HP accessory versus going attack there. On the aura. Accuracy in all battles by 60. We love that too. So, man, she's got a great kit. Let's take a quick little look-see at Cardial just because we want an excuse to look at his wings as well, right? So what is he doing when you have SICIA on the same team, right? He is it just on his passive? Yes. Whenever an ally attacks, 15% chance to team up with them and join their attack. This champion will attack with their default skill, but he'll always join up with SICIA FLAMETONGUE if they're on the same team. And that's it. So, yeah, they're companion champions, but barely companion champions. They just got a little extra, little tiny extra. Do you guys like when companions have like these uber awesome skills, kind of like a Venus and a Cupidus? when they're a tandem. You know, she gets a secret skill where she has extra turns, clearing all the debuffs away. Cupidus is always attacking, or a Coronar and a Manaya, for example? Or do you like when they're better, but not, you know, significantly? Just like a little add-on like we saw with these two. Let me know in the comments. Do I have a cardio guide out yet? I think I do. I think I do. Anyway, actually, now I want to look. Do I have cardio? I do. I do have a cardio guide out right now on the channel, if you want to check that out. So let me show you how I have her built. Actually, before we do that, excuse me, I get choked up when I talk about SICIA. Check this out, man. Hellhades.com gives her a 5 in Hydra. She's amazing. Amazing damage dealer and debuffer in Hydra Clan Boss. As long as 2 enemies are under a burn, she's going to be placing decreased defense and weaken. Big versions of both debuffs on a 3-turn cooldown on an AoE 100% land rate. So right out the gate there, she's a very competent debuffer. Just going to make sure that you keep those burns up on at least 2 Hydra heads. And then all the damage that she brings too. Doom Tower Wave, she's great, just going to keep her alive. Dungeons, Spider, she's a 5. Hard mode Spider, she's a 5. Ice Golem, she's a 5. And hard mode, I mean, you guys can see, she's an incredible champion, gets high scores almost everywhere in terms of dungeons. In terms of Doom Tower, I would say, notably, you don't see much of her in Sand Devil or in Shogun, though. In Doom Tower, she's most effective in Eternal Dragon, Frost Spider, and Dark Fae, along with Celestial Griffin. I tend to agree with all of that. Definitely won't be using her much in like Scarab King, in Magma Dragon, or in Dreadhorn for that matter. In the arena, I would say she's a non-meta champion, but she can still do 2 strong AoEs back to back. Think Nishak Verminlord, right? She goes in with the A3. If she lands those burns, she goes into the A2 and debuffs at the same time. It's really nice to come away from that A3, especially if you land it. Just got to make sure you're not going against a bunch of Spirit Affinity champions, but you can bring her in. You see a bunch of Magic Affinity champions on the other team in the arena, bring her in. She'll either kill them or she'll have them debuffed and burned, you know? Anyway, she has a 1.05 attack multiplier on the A1, which is actually really good because it's a triple hitter, okay? Flame Eruption, a 3.7 on her A2 AoE, a 3.5 on her A3 AoE. So more damage coming from the A2 than the A3, but of course replacing the burns on the A3 ability. All right, let's go ahead and show you how I have her built here. One sec. Okay. Everything's good. Push this over. Perfection. All right, so we have her in, well, probably the most obvious build known to man for this champion, right? It's triple perception. We need accuracy and we want speed. Those are, you know, 2 of the more important stats on this champion other than survivability. So yeah, I think perception is the way to go with this champion. If you really want to try to min-max your damage, you can go in Savage and Cruel. But me, I just don't think it's the way to go on this champ. Because again, most of her damage is coming from actually not the AoEs, but the burn and the burn activation. That being said, of course, you can min-max more damage in Cruel gear. You can run triple Cruel, stack up that attack because it scales so well. Where she lacks in HP, she does make up for in defense for an attack-based champion at 1123 on the base stats. So I think perception is the way to go. Accuracy, if you don't have it, is good as well. Speed is fine as well in this champion. But I like triple perception. I have speed on the boots. I have resistance on the chest. I didn't realize this is the build that I've been using for so long. The problem is I needed to have her at a certain speed for my team on Spider Hard 10, which I will show you guys in today's video. So for that reason, I threw in resistance because I needed, you know, to get that speed up. I would say the majority of you guys are either going to go attack percentage, accuracy, or defense percentage. I would strongly advise attack percentage. But hey, resistance isn't the end of the world. I think it's totally fine. And hey, it's getting the job done for me, so I will take it. You know what? Listen, I just farmed Sand Devil overnight. One of my biggest Sand Devil farms ever. So I figured we're going to start actually ascending some of these artifacts that we don't have yet. We'll get a little bit of HP, which is nice. Flat stat HP is actually good on this champion. More flat stat HP here. We do have crit damage on her gauntlets. So we did build her as a nuker minus sans the lethal or savage gear. So again, crit rate is totally fine on the gauntlets as well. Heck, I even see some players not even worrying so much about the crit rate, crit damage. To me, that's leaving a little bit too much damage off the table. But again, you're still going to be impressed by the numbers either way because she's that good of a nuker and that good of a burner with the activation in there. So again, stat priorities, guys. Obviously, with the crit damage on the gauntlets, we want to find the crit rate in the other stats. I needed her fast, as I mentioned before, so I looked for speed. I looked for accuracy. Thankfully, when you run triple perception, it really alleviates the necessity to focus so much on accuracy substats. With all that being said, though, I still threw accuracy on the banner just to make sure we're not getting any resist in there. I have crit damage on the amulet. We're looking for accuracy substats, not the best amulet, but whatever. And then I went HP on the ring. I am going to glyph this out, might as well. Attack flat stats glyphs, man. Talk about the least wanted glyph in the game. I'll just use a 6-star. Who cares, right? Got enough of them. Jeez. What about you guys? Do you guys have tons of attack percentage and flat stat glyphs? Those are my biggest glyphs in my collection by far. Everything else I run out of, I never run out of attack. I never do. Anyway, I digress. So we did go HP on the ring. Again, I would advise pretty much everybody go HP on the ring because we get 4,000 HP, right? That's like a third of her HP almost, just flat out on a 6-star. So I think HP on the ring is the way to go on this champ. We look at our total stats here. We have 244 on the speed. We have 104, 227, and 486 on the accuracy respectively. We have 41K, 2,500. Obviously, you guys are going to know what stats you need to keep her alive on the teams that you're running her in, right? When we talk about blessings on this champion, I think that the best way to go is Brimstone, right? She's a great Brimstone provider for your team. Here I have her on 4-star Awakened. She's going to be landing Smite. She's going to get that extra HP, which is extremely valuable. You get 5,000 HP on a 2-star Awakening. That's really good for SICIA Flametongue. Moreover, we get the extra accuracy because we have her at 4 stars, and she's going to have a great chance at landing those smites. She has 2 AoE attacks. She's a great smite layer, and we're going to build her with a lot of accuracy anyway, which we now need on smite, right? So very good there. On Masteries, I think this is a pretty good chalk Masteries. I have not actually reviewed these in a while on this champion. Usually, as you've noticed on the channel, I tend to redo them with you guys every video, but I don't think I have a big problem with these. I did go HP again, you know, and I think that's something that you guys should consider as well, right? Go HP on support, even for champions that need accuracy, as long as you have enough accuracy. To get 10 extra accuracy, sure, it's not nothing, forgive the double negative, it's something, but I think you're way better off with 810 HP, especially on a champion as squishy as this, right? So don't always just blindly go accuracy. That being said, we did have to forego charge focus as well. We did pick up Swarm Smiter. We have Lore of Steel, which will benefit Perception Gear. We have Evil Eye, and then we have Master Hexer to extend the duration of the HP burns. On the offense, we have Crit Rate. We actually picked up Grim Resolve. I don't think that's necessary at all on this champion. I'd probably just go Heart of Glory instead, or better yet, just go with Charge Focus. So I don't know really why I did that, but whatever. You ever look back at your Masteries from years ago and you're like, what was I thinking there on that? I'm sure we all do that to some extent. Anyway, everything else is fine here. Crit damage going down. Bring it down, excuse me. Bring it on too. Sure, why not? I do think that Giant Slayer is the way to go in terms of a tier 6 mastery for damage on this champion. She has a triple hitter on her A1, so we want to go with Giant Slayer. There we go, guys. That is it. That is SICIA Flametongue. Let's go ahead and jump into battle here. I want to show you 2 areas. One is very time sensitive to the day that this video is going live, and the other is Spider. Now listen, I'll show you the Hydra team. I think I have not ran her yet. Let me show you a Hydra team that I would typically run her on. I'm not going to show you the whole build because it's all like stupid legendaries, right? You guys aren't going to really care, but one sec. Now I only use this team on the hard difficulty. So the way that I run my Hydra teams, right, is on Nightmare, I run my best squad, right? Nekmo Thar, I have 1 Acrisia, which is amazing. I don't have like 5 of them. Michinaki, Molly Tankard, the best of the best. And then on Brutal, I go down to my second team with Krisk and Duchess and another Michinaki. And then on Hard, I come down with my it's obviously an OP pay-to-win team. I'm not saying it's anything other than, but this team is also the squishiest by far out of those teams because they can actually take these hits. So I have Trunda, I have SICIA as a debuffer, I have Arbiter just turn meter boosting everybody constantly, I have Mithrala for the Hex, I have always bring a Hex champion, or if you don't have a Hex champion on your team, always make sure you're bringing Cursed Gear on somebody, ideally with an AoE on the A1. I have Harima in there for provokes. Just a really, really all-out damage squad, right? So yeah, she won't out-damage Trunda or Harima on this team, but she is bringing the debuffs as well, and she can get kind of close to Harima there. She's great in Hydra Clan Boss, provided you can keep her alive, of course, which is important. Let's go ahead and show you my Spider team really quickly here. So this is a champion that I really use quite a bit, as you guys can see. I have Artak, I'm going to break it down so it's not so pay to win, even though it's pay to win. I still want to talk about the roles of these champions more so than anything else. You can see I'm running SICIA as an aura lead just to boost up our accuracy in case we need it. I might have been a little shy on the accuracy necessary on some of these champions. I don't know. But basically, I could use like a Theodore. I'm using instant activation plus enemy max HP strategy for a 5-turn Spider hard 10 run. Now, again, this is endgame content, and I apologize, but when it comes to a champion that I actually use, I just want to show you the teams that I actually use them on. Normally, as you can tell on the channel here, I'm trying to show you more free-to-play variants of these teams. You know, when I do an epic champion, I try to conclude all epics on these teams. I've made my point. Okay, so normally in Spider, you could lead off with her A3, hopefully it lands on all the Spiderlings, and then you can come in, instant activate them on the A2. Problem is, if for whatever reason I don't land every single burn, I don't get my extra turn, and I can't instantly activate. So on a speed run, to play things safe, I have Tamisha. It could be anybody. She goes in there with an AoE HP burn, right? So she's landing the burn, and because of that, I'll show you the team setup here. Because of that, SICIA is actually going to lead in and open with her A2 instead to instantly activate, okay? We have Artak doing the same thing. He's going to come in here. He's going to instantly activate burns as well. We have Acresia hitting with her A2, which is 2 enemy max HP hits. And we have Newt attacking with his A3, which is 3 enemy max HP hits. It's really overkill on this team. But it's consistent, and that's what we want, obviously, on a Spider run, because this is the dungeon that I, like many of you guys, run the most. There's Tamisha landing the initial burns. There's activation from Artak. Here comes the activation from SICIA Flametongue. And here comes Acresia with the death shot. There you go. That's the squad. All right. So obviously you can use her in so many different ways, right? She doesn't have to be, you know, you might only have 1 or 2 burners. You might be in the early game or the mid game. She's going to be a very capable burner. This is Spider Hard 10, right? She's going to be a very capable burner for you all throughout stage 21 to 25, maybe with the exception of 24 because of the affinity being Spirit. She's a great burner. You can pair her with a champion like Achak the Wenderin as well, who can keep you healed, keep you frozen, keep the Spiderlings frozen. There's all kinds of good combos with her as a burner and activator on your team. I wanted to show you the team I've been working on today. I'm going to run this on auto probably all day after I record this video. It is Demon Spawn only. I'm not saying this is a good idea. I'm just saying it's what they're doing right now. Demon Spawn only event going on. This is my squad. I'm sure I can optimize it more. Listen, I'm going stage 25. Even though I'm running her on Force Affinity, she's still going to be just insanely good. But probably should change my affinity and change my team. I just kind of threw this team together for the video because I need to, work on that tournament, that event. So she's going to come in there. She's not going to be landing the burn, obviously, on everybody, not against all these Spirit affinities. Affinity matchups really do mean a lot in this game. But even as you just saw on Newt, or was it just, we were going against Void. But even Newt, people run anti-affinity. I run him on some anti-affinity teams because he's that good, you know? Anyway, I'm going to take this. This is the Demon Spawn only Fire Knight run. The reason I'm showing you this is because she's going to be our damage dealer lead. She's going to be a debuffer on the squad. And she's going to have that triple hitter on the A1 to help get that shield down. Now, if you're leaning on her really heavily for Fire Knight, you can absolutely go in there and put Phantom Touch on her instead of going with Brimstone, even though personally, I would still prefer Brimstone, even in Fire Knight normal. Guys, I'll come back to you guys when we get to the Fire Knight. Be right back. So here we go. So Lord Shazar is pretty good for the waves, and he has a triple hitter, so he's good for getting that shield down, but he's not very good against the actual Fire Knight himself. Whereas the cool thing about SICIA is, you know, because ideally we don't want the Fire Knight to take a turn at all, right, once we get the shield down. So the bombs from Lord Shazar never have a chance to even proc, right? That being said, SICIA can go ahead and apply those burns and then instantly activate without him having to take a turn, which is really nice. She goes in there with the A1. You can see it doing pretty nice damage. I didn't notice if there are any Giant Slayer procs or not there. We have our 2 control epics on the team. We have Allure, and we also have Skimfos the Consumed, both who have amazing turn meter control. Skimfos on his A3, Allure on her A1. So really good stuff here. You can see we're applying, just in case he ever does get a turn, we've applied 2 bombs. We've got the Smite as well. You can see the burn on the Fire Knight right now. She'll go ahead and increase that burn duration. You can see from a 2 to a 3 turn with the A1 ability. So now she can safely come in and instantly activate and make sure that burn still stays on the Fire Knight. It's her next move is going to be the instant activation, I believe. So we'll go ahead and stay tuned for that. Overall, guys, you can see that there it was, burn activation. Overall, incredibly competent burner, one of the better burners in the game. She's up there. She's a lot different than an Artak, even though they're both burn placers and instant activators. One HP based, one's more around debuffs and in raw damage in SICIA. But she is up there with him and a few others in the game in terms of the best raw burners out there. Sulfurion is another one, a new Void legendary who I don't have, so don't expect a guide on him anytime super soon. I know, and by the way, I see you guys with the mythical champion requests. I don't have any mythicals either, but don't worry. I am hoarding my primal shards. The day, it could be in a month, it could be in 6 months, it could be in a year, but the day that they launch their very first 2x mythical champion and primal shards is the day that I'm going to open all of my primal shards. Until that day, I will not have any. But then hopefully after that day, I'll have quite a few. Obviously, I will go for Lady Mickage as well. Anyway, you can see this team is not going to win any speed run contests, but it's my best Demon Spawn only squad, at least that I've made thus far. So let's see. Can we get in there? Flame Eruption? Absolutely. And then Allure finishes the show. SICIA Flametongue. Actually, Lord Shazar does outdamage her just slightly there. 1.6 to 2.1 million damage. Of course, nice to bring the weaken and the decreased defense, as you saw there towards the end on the Fire Knight as well, helping everybody else to do more damage. So guys, that's going to do it for the SICIA Flametongue guide. Book builds with confidence. She's a tremendous champion. Again, when it comes to burners, I would put her up there as one of the best in the entire game. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.